What do you need? What can I do for you? Merci.
Huh. Huh. Oh. Aha.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
The fact that there are valuable items remaining in the safe leads me to believe that the thief was looking for something specifically. Something that they knew would be, meaning they had previous knowledge of the contents of Madame Hélène. Come, my little Grey Cells. I must act on thought and... I should consider this further. The evidence suggests... Is there something... Order and method. I cannot see the logic. Something just... This will not get me any closer to my goal. I must take a different... Where is the sense? Come now. I must take a different...
What do you need? What can... Merci.
Is there something I am not... Another success. I never doubted myself. This will not get me any closer to my... I must act on thought. Something just... Magnifique. What a revelation.
What do you need? What can I do for you? Merci. What do you need? Why, Mrs. Allen? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Merci. What do you need? What can I do? What can I do for you? Merci.
Oh.
What do you need? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Merci.
Ah.
Oh. Come, my little Grace. I should consider the... The evidence suggests some... Voila.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
Madame Allen was behind the mess that lies before us.
What do you think you're doing in here? Secure...
Pardon, Madame Allen.
Yeah, I remember you.
Snooping, no. What?
You can wait outside. Well, go on then, shoot.
Madame Allen.
Look, let's just...
Well, thanks to Johann walking off, I got stuck talking, a term I use loosely, with Mr. Aylesworth and the all-important bishop, as he likes to consider himself.
Where did your husband go?
Beats me. But when I saw him next, he was being attacked by that crazy...
I did. And while I do not condone such behavior...
If you are going to defend that woman's actions against my husband, I'll stop you. Not really any of your...
I would not forgive myself if something improper...
You've got nothing to worry about. I thought it was best to just get myself out of there.
Your husband mentioned you were feeling under the...
Me?
Ah, je vois.
I've heard the Brits like that stuff.
You have been most...
What do you need? What can I...
Merci.
信じられない姿勢でゲームしてるけど大丈夫かな。
You're just full of questions, aren't you?
You have...
What do you need? What can I...
Merci.
You're just full of questions.
You have been...
What do you need?
Merci.
Ah.
Hello?
Bonjour, madame.
You're not English.
Madame, I am Detective Hercule.
So what?
I was hoping to speak with a neighbor of yours.
She's not in.
Do you know how long?
You can give her this.
I will be sure to do that.
I told you last time you made a mess of things that if...
So, you are blaming... I have poured my heart...
Pardon. Perhaps this is a conversation that should be had.
This conversation...
What Detective Poirot means is maybe somewhere a little less public would be a better place to have it.
I am well aware of what you...
Let us not say anything that one would later regret.
You do as much breathing.
Mademoiselle,
What...
Ah. Ah.
Aha.
I don't think you quite understand the severity of the situation, Detective Inspector.
I'm well aware, and I'll...
That just isn't good enough. How would you feel if... Who am I kidding? You could never afford something like that.
I can assure you Detective Inspector Hardwick and his men will be doing all they can to...
Now you have some officer from another country entirely fighting...
I speak on behalf of no one but myself.
And I didn't ask you.
Right you are.
Will you allow some of... And then I should... Quite understandable.
I was talking to the bishop, or rather being talked at. He doesn't see it, but he gets quite heated. That's the... I did. That man just wants someone to listen to his... I decided to walk away and see the orrery from above.
You two spoke?
Briefly, but she was looking for her husband, so...
I will not take up...
If you want to deal with him, fine by me.
Detective Inspector Hardwick has made it quite clear.
Your Grace, there are matters with...
You do... Heated?
They are the words of...
Oh, the man is in politics. He should know what heated look. There was no one else around. How was I to know he was having a heart attack when he clutched his chest? And when I saw he was in trouble,
I do not believe Bishop Mountjoy was the instigator of Monsieur Aylesworth's heart attack, but it appears he does. He is quite rigorously trying to convince himself he is not to blame.
Merci.
What can I do? He knows just how to push. He knows what this museum means to me.
That is clear to us all.
He thinks he can say and do what he wants because of his position. But if he thinks he can get... This museum is my life. And if anyone, including him... I'm sorry. The detective...
Detective Hercule Poirot is not just any man, mademoiselle.
And modest to boot. There you go.
The key. It is...
It was looking grubby and covered in rust, so I...
If you find anything else that may be of importance...
Oh.
What do you need?
Merci.
うん。
めっちゃ頑張ったからしてみてほしい。見てみて。見て。つなげてね。子供にするのにちょっと。全然なんか言うの言うのさ、信用してなくてびっくりした。え？すごいなんか硬くて、そっちへ進めるけど、なんかそっちは行きませんと言わんばかりの体の角度してるだから。してなかったか。
こっちもまっすぐって言うたらまっすぐ走ってた。
走ってるのがすごいね。じゃあね、グミちゃんとか言ってますよ。グミちゃんとか言ってます。
Order and method. That is the... I cannot see the logic in this. Where is the sense in... Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment... The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming to... Logical thinking shall always prevail. Come now. Think on what has... The evidence suggests... I cannot see the lot...
When the thief entered this room from the west wing, there was no paint on the key. We know this because there was no paint on the key when they used it on the door to the gallery. But there is paint on the key when the thief locks the west wing door after stealing the painting, telling us...
The key got covered in paint in this room.
Oui. And only after the painting was stolen. The picture is becoming clearer. And the paint... The thief unlocked the door to the gallery. They then returned. The thief locked the door, but then... An accident.
How can you be so sure?
We know because the paint palette was the only...
But why put the painting on this table, where items may be knocked or where they may be hurled? Perhaps the answer is...
Aha. Aha.
What do you need? What? What can I do for you? Merci.
Huh. Oh. Ah.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss Babanian? She wanted to speak with me after the bishop was finished chewing my ear off. But it seems the pair of them have disappeared.
I'm afraid not.
Can't have been that important then. What can I do for you?
Merci.
Aha. Huh.
I hope you're getting... Merci.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss Babani?
I'm afraid not.
Can't have been that...
What do you need?
Merci.
Oh. Aha. Huh.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss
I'm...
Con-
やっぱ坊主なんだ。
ずっと考えてる。
イメージなさすぎる。
はい。
ちょっとな。
おお。
ゲームできなくなっちゃった。いやいや、なんだか無駄なあるあるとか。
You're just full of questions, aren't you? Where did you get that?
It was found in a vent at the museum.
Yes. Well,
A clearly valuable ring has just been returned to Madame. And she acts as though it means nothing.
And I would not describe throwing a ring at one's husband resulting in it being stuck in a vent as a case of losing.
It is
Clear Madame Anne felt no sickness at the gala, rather anger. In a moment of rage, she threw her ring at her husband before exiting the museum. And having seen the damage, one can conclude that it was the state of her...
You have been most...
The detective inspector will now be able to see as plain as...
With the other remaining guests' movements all accounted for, she was the only one capable of making haste.
あとでっかくない？でっかくない？
でかいな、旗。
犬ぐらい大きいよ。
全然愛着かねえな。やばいだろ、この顔見た目。
いや、
バック。
かわいい？じゃあ、水の中で泳いでるゴジラと、口を遊泳してるよ、どっちが苦しい？
Ah, detective, you're here.
ゴジラのこと愛おしいって言ってたから。
Look and you shall find.
Oh, well, I've had the photograph.
That's good.
Oui.
問題目が
何が証拠なの？その通りのすが全然。
There is nothing left for us to do but to take out.
You think he'll listen?
It is his duty, as we have done all but arrest Mademoiselle Court Smythe for him.
I was thinking that while you were speaking with Miss Courts,
It would certainly be more...
何解決したの？わかんないの？
Him with the funny accent. He was here earlier asking the same questions. All I want is a bit of peace.
I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. We...
Monsieur Hastings, your assistance is required immediately.
何かあった？何か問題があった？え？火事起きてんじゃん。
Good Lord, Poirot, that's a lot of smoke.
And now you are up to speed with the situation. I have evaluated the position we find.
If you're going to use the fire extinguisher, now would be the time.
Très bien.
That's it. One more should do it.
Detective Inspector, it is imperative we search the crime scene as soon as possible.
You mean my crime scene?
If I may, I can count on one hand how many crime scenes I've seen in my life, and Although they are... As the representative of Lloyd's of London Bank, it is my responsibility to...
A weak attempt, but I've got more on my plate than dealing with some paper pusher getting his knickers in a twist. You've got until I return to do whatever it is you need.
You may question my authority in this case, but...
Whatever you...
Aha. Ah.
フィルムついてたかもしれない、もしかしたら。
フィルム？
うん。
死んでんの？
はあ。はあ。
なんかついてた。
本当だ。
なんかついてた。行かなかったよ。
うん。Aha. Aha. Huh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Huh. Oh.
From analyzing the victim's body.
Not by the flames.
That is...
Didn't you speak with her neighbor before? Might she be able to help?
Is it that copper?
I was...
You aren't coming in. You can get that in... She hardly had any visitors, but yesterday...
If you would be so kind...
Well, I saw her leaving with a couple of paintings under her arm. Then there was that posh-looking chap. Next came the professional-looking fella. Oh, and the argument with another man.
You are doing a wonder...
You can keep... She must have turned her radio up to disguise what they were saying. But I tell you this, it wasn't long before he was storming down the stairs.
Would you be able to remember any?
Through this people, you could... I didn't hear her leave, but... When I heard, I opened my door and gave her what for. And you know what she did? She waved me off. Only after did she turn the radio down. I wasn't going to waste peace and quiet, and I got ready for bed. I was getting right into the exciting bit of my book, Perkins' first one, and then you...
Merci, madame.
Oh, and I found this in the garden.
The cork from a champagne bottle. The smell lingers on the cork.
Merci.
Is there something?
Come now.
I should consider... One step closer. Something just... Where is the sense in that? Order and method. Things are beginning to... I must act. This will not get... Come, my little Grace. I should not be so...
Monsieur Hastings, of course. What can...
From analyzing the victim's body.
Not by the flames.
That is...
What can I do for you? Mr. Poirot, you are a genius. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? That would never have even occurred to me. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Let us get back.
I must take a different... Something just does not feel right. Hot on the culprit's heels. The answer was staring me in the face.
What do you need? What can I...
Let us...
What do you need? Almonds? I've never...
One would hope not.
Of course. It wasn't an accident. It was set on purpose.
An almost perfect execution.
But why try and get...
Spoken. Let us get...
Order and readiness. I should consider this further. What a revelation.
What do you need? I don't know.
Take your time.
Okay, firstly, we know among these visitors, one left with a...
Très bien.
Irene. The killer used a syringe to inject a liquid...
Potassium cyanide. Trace it.
And she fell victim... What are you going to tell him?
The truth. He may hope for a simple and somewhat convenient...
My crime scene still intact?
Of course, Detective...
There's nothing.
Pardon, Detective Inspector.
Right you are.
But you won't.
Excuse me?
He is well aware of your authority and your capability.
Well, my men have been in, as have I, and I've concluded that the mademoiselle, as you so elegantly called her, made off. She passed out drunk in the chair, candle still lit, and the plate...
Detective Inspector...
Who are you
He's not calling you simple, he's saying that isn't how it happened. How can you ignore the bottle of champagne that had been tampered with? The smell of poison on the
You're both experts in poison now, are you?
I do not wish to stand here and argue credentials. Mademoiselle Cotsmythe was killed, not...
Quite the imagination you two have.
Look, we can
No. We shall leave the detective inspector. Monsieur Hastings, you must learn which battles are worth the fight.
That was quite a night. I feel exhilarated, yet exhausted.
It is being able to control those emotions and still see the bigger picture that separates the best.
So do you think it must have been one of the...
An accomplice disguised as a guest turned murderer. A master criminal that...
I think I just felt...
Now we must speak with the guests of the gala again, as well as find Monsieur Christiansen, who has...
Mademoiselle...
Of course. Goodness.
A painting was recovered.
What on earth are you talking?
It ran rampant through...
She would never be so. But with all of those flammable...
Mademoiselle Warbeck appears quite distraught at the news.
I respected her as an artist, and...
I do not wish to push Mademoiselle Warbeck too far while in such a state.
Perhaps, as a friend...
Her plan for what? Stealing the painting?
She must have had help.
If she did. I've been here trying to calm...
You did not leave the museum?
I was here until the early hours. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Oh.
Monsieur Hastings. Bonjour, madame.
You bet something's happened. That's...
I'm sure you didn't mean...
That's it!
Take a deep breath. One man's opinion, and a wrong one at that.
You're right.
Very impressive, Monsieur Hastings.
Is there... You do know what I do, don't you?
I did not mean to.
Zach. He was there. You two seemed pretty friendly. He'll tell you. So will that Russian...
Monsieur Demir and Mademoiselle Babagna. Together.
Oh, he's already seen it. I told him he didn't have...
A supportive husband.
Yeah. You're...
It is most important.
Then you... Look,
Mademoiselle Cottes...
Okay.
I thought perhaps...
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't really want to hear about it.
Madame.
You have been most...
What do you need? That sounds rather...
I would not ask you to do something I would not consider...
What do you...
Madame Hélène, you...
I certainly can. Mrs. Allen, that photograph... What do you need? What?
Gentlemen, what can I do for you?
I was hoping to speak with Mademoiselle...
I'm afraid she already has her hands full with the story. Perhaps another... Perhaps another... Let's not be so hasty. That could...
Gentlemen, what can I do?
This is your office.
Mademoiselle, would you...
I don't really have time.
I assure you I shall remain focused.
Fine. Is she all right?
I'm afraid not.
Heavens. How?
I do not believe so. And her parents have both passed also.
A question I did not expect. Although at least she is showing some fun.
I only met her recently in the profession.
I cannot say, but they may not be as forthcoming with her work now.
I'm sorry, Detective.
Mademoiselle Court-Smythe was behind the painting's disappearance.
So she stole the original and made...
That...
Am I a suspect?
We are just trying to gather all the information.
I'm sorry. I was working late into the evening, yes. There was probably some...
Merci, madame. Monsieur Aylesworth.
Ah, a detective that actually seems to be quite well.
The infirmary.
With a clean bill of health.
An honorable.
I was straight after the...
I'm afraid
It certainly makes...
I was not aware of report.
They aren't. I left and went to the London... I can't for the life of me remember the chap's name. Anyway, you're a...
It does not take a great detective to pick up a...
Is this about the insurance claim?
I do not doubt my abilities to return the painting, but I question why he felt it... It would not surprise me to learn of him using his loss for cynical gain.
I assume you saw...
Oui, monsieur.
Oh, the people must know... Well, detective...
A surprise.
I wasn't expecting to be on the receiving end of...
You are aware of, madame?
There is... And for your little notepad, or wherever you're storing the facts, that report... Farquhar, she was in the office and can confirm I was there.
It appears that Monsieur Aylesworth is more preoccupied with proving his innocence.
I will not take up...
Bartholomew! Where? Bartholomew! I'm sorry, I just don't have time to talk now. I have to find
Have you placed the missing...
Really, detective? Bartholomew...
I am sure with our assistant. And then...
Fine. His name is...
Pardon.
Better. Well, you see, the poor creature took an interesting... He bolted...
Merci. Merci. Huh. Aha. Huh. Oh.
This will not get... The evidence said... I must... lucky guess.
What do you need? What can I... That would never have even occurred to me. What can I do for you?
Matt.
Ah.
Mess.
What do you need? What can I do for you?
Matt. What can I do for you? I will not.
シャッター閉めて。寒い。
ちょっと寒かったね。
You're just full of...
You have...
Ah.
Yes, Thomas, one of my parishioners.
Where did you say the glass?
The mess.
What do you need? What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Matt.
Voila. Where is the sense in... I cannot see the logic in this. Come, my little... Magnifique. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Is there something I am...
What do you need?
I question whether the bishop's version of events is accurate. Perhaps he threw the glass jar at Bartholomew because he was on the altar.
I know that's how it looks, but I can't imagine someone being... What tells us where the cat ran to next? Poirot, you are a genius. How can we know where the cat ran to next? Poirot, you are a genius.
Aha. Huh.
Ma'am. What do you need? What? Ma'am. If you would be so kind.
Really? I must have been so busy not to notice.
Was there any...
If Mr. Aylesworth was there...
It strikes me as rather strange that Mademoiselle does not recall seeing such an important figure in the office. I shall speak with the editor.
Merci, mademoiselle.
What can I do for you?
I will not.
Voila. Your Grace, now
As... Very well. I hope that comes from an inquisitive...
You mean Mademoiselle?
Who else? She's...
And following...
I returned to the church.
You don't...
I got the feeling that someone... None. I knew her merely. Do you want to tell me what...
Mademoiselle Court Smythe?
If you plan on being the... How did...
There was a fire in her apartment.
Ask and...
Bishop Mountjoy claims he...
Oh,
I can only assume his delayed excitement came from being off...
If Your Grace would allow me to finish...
She was the...
It appears that...
I will rightly light a candle for her...
Oh. Oh.
What do you need? What do you need?
Huh. Huh.
What do you need?
What can I do for you?
I will not...
looks like she was telling the truth.
About composing the letter, oui.
What's all this other stuff? I don't think it's from the letter.
It seems we have stumbled across the names and addresses.
We have gathered all the information we can from Betty's husband.
Oui.
What do you need? What?
Voila.
Remind me why we've lied our way into a man's apartment while he's not here?
Monsieur Christensen was accused of harassing a young lady who has now been murdered, and he has not been seen since, even by his wife. Does that not...
Do you really think...
I believe everyone is capable, under the right side. While we have no suspect to question, let us use our time wisely and search for clues. Leave no stone unturned.
Oh. Aha. Ah. Oh. Aha. Huh. Huh. Huh.
Monsieur Hastings, your assistance is required.
Of course. What?
Monsieur Christiansen was at the scene of the crime smoking with... Could he be the holder of the original Penitent Magdalene painting?
What do you need? What can...
I will...
Gentlemen, you're back.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Kingdom of Belgium's police force.
You should have led with that before. Nathaniel Dryden, editor of the London Illustrated News.
1個ハムの1個ハムの1枚って1枚でこと1枚でことはいはいそうですよ一旦ここに置くね一旦ここに置く早いよ
苦労じゃん久しぶり
My apologies. I was not aware of your position.
That's quite all right. You were still more polite than... What can I do for you?
結構やってはりますけど
結構死んだんじゃないかな
I did, but that was supposed to be an exclusive. How did you...
It is a detective's job to know such things.
スパイダーマンやる
まあスパイダーマンやってもいいし
お腹空いた
ご飯食べた方がいいのかもわからない
Doesn't really explain how. He said he had something to tell me that was going to blow... Indeed she was. Although she was working on her own story, so I left her to it.
区切りが
でもまた何時ぐらいまでやるかもしれない
とりあえず1時までやるか30分
しょうがねえなみんな触った
え
触ったりしてるのってしたり自分のことは腰痛いよね山さん腰痛いよ
今日から腰痛いの
今日腰が痛い初めて
買い物せずから
そうおかしいこんなに腰が痛いのっておかしい
筋肉痛は
筋肉痛みたい
At no point.
She's a very hard worker, and when she had photographs. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I have another appointment. If you don't mind. This place is usually full of all sorts that think... I was meaning to mention that to Florence.
Mention
英語じゃなくてその制御効率が進めていくじゃない
A young foreign girl came in asking about a piece that was on show at the museum. Originated in Eastern Europe somewhere, and...
Did she say why she was so interested?
なんか被害者がいて、その時一緒にいたっぽい人がいて、でもなんだ失踪してて、とりあえずみんながその死んだ時にどこにいたかを聞いてて、で絵画盗んだのは誰か今捜査しててみたいな感じ。
She said she was researching its journey from its first home with an affluent family. I forget the name. I couldn't tell. No doubt into another exhibition somewhere.
Could this inquisitive young woman have been Mademoiselle Babagna? But why so curious about that particular piece of jewelry? Merci.
Aha. Huh.
Hmm? さっき美味しくない？
うまい。
なんか
2個食べられる。
箱にね、無理しないで。箱にね、ココアに合うみたいに書いてあったから、食べた。
そう。
Huh. Aha. Huh.
What do you need? What could...
Oh.
Ah, Poirot. Good to see you.
The feeling is mutual, Monsieur de...
You and your formalities.
Is everything all right?
Miss Farquhar is interviewing Betty. I heard about Irene.
Who told you that?
I would appreciate some discretion, but...
Anything I won't take offense, as I know you're just... I attended the evening performance. She was at a loose end. Don't worry, I'm not here... I mean...
You do not in particular...
I've never had a problem with him before. He was trying to sell me a lucrative business opportunity. A way...
Did you take him up?
God, no. When someone offers you something that sounds too... That was some weak...
bragging is a sign of...
You know, at first I found out...
I shall accept that as both a...
If it wasn't for the...
You have lived a life many of us have only heard about in stories. A life that we all hope no one...
I said...
Your family must be proud of the man you have been... I will not take... I do not...
Then perhaps...
I do not mean to...
Then...
I do not mean to...
Then...
What do you need? What can I...
I will not... Bonjour, mademoiselle.
It's not that. I just can't...
I'm sorry, mademoiselle. I do not have...
No. Well, after it was all cut short...
We?
Mr. Demir. Oh, I wasn't aware Mr. Hastings was to be the focus of Floret's...
On the contrary, it is only one of many.
Would you believe I found it? Amazing.
And you are intent.
Of course.
Mademoiselle Gottsmite no longer requires it. I shall hold on to it.
Yes, and it was something that... But it was one that I dread had been stolen. Well, it didn't sit well with me. So... I stayed well back, and I followed him into his church, but he was...
He is a man of God. No.
I don't know what to say.
You have been most helpful.
Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh.
I do not need to.
Then
What do you need?
I do not need to.
Then
I do not. I do not need.
Then
Aha. Ah. Huh. Aha.
of this.
Mademoiselle,
I'm in the...
I really...
That was incredibly unprofessional, Detective.
If we are to discuss
I think you've got me confused.
Enough, mademoiselle.
You don't think I...
Please do not feign. Where did mademoiselle receive her inspiration to make her thought? I remind you that I stand before you as Poirot, maybe... Monsieur Hastings, if mademoiselle Farquhar...
That won't be necessary. She asked me to... I have no idea. I thought she was just trying to help my...
Your career does not appear...
She had such confidence.
And she got exactly what...
I was financially dependent on her. She paid for the lifestyle that I had found myself in.
Couldn't you have just said...
And risk her exposing me for what I had done? She was the one holding all the cards. I had no other choice, but...
Merci, mademoiselle.
Oh.
What do you need? What?
I would...
Huh.
It would be my...
You had...
Oh.
If it is,
It seems too often.
Ah.
謎解きです。奇妙なメモ。
Mm-hmm. Huh.
I am sorry to have...
By the looks of it, what...
Perhaps you have...
知りたいな、これ。
What do you need?
I...
アルファベット4文字。こっち読むのか。
Huh. Ah. Aha. Huh.
What do you need? What can I... What do you need? The argument with Irene at the gala, and then with his...
Madame Hélène had uncovered their relationship. But even with this...
What do you need? What...
I will...
Oh.
You're just full of... own. You don't just own...
Pardon.
Enoch. And I ask you the question.
Purely curiosity, madame. And it was your husband.
It means faithful.
You have been...
エノクなのか。
Aha. Oh. Huh.
The pigment of this paint is...
Meaning?
We have found our
Aha. Ah.
Poirot, the door. What are you doing in?
Ah. Monsieur Christiansen. Welcome home.
This doesn't look good, does it?
We have much to discuss.
So Mr. Christensen had an opportunity and a motive, but he continues to
And still to...
I knew it.
Pardon, monsieur?
I knew that's why she stayed so friendly with her. Irene always said she was besotted.
Perhaps you should elaborate on the identity.
The curator. Evelyn, what's her name? She could spot a forgery at 20 yards. What better person to show you the ropes so you can...
If the board of trustees at the museum...
And in her own words, if anyone was to jeopardize her...
She wouldn't be...
It seems Monsieur Christiansen may not be the only person tied to Mademoiselle Court Smythe. Madame Hélène has confirmed the surprise appearance of her husband during the intermission of her show. And as expected, she... Monsieur Hastings.
If I may speak free.
You do not have to ask my permission.
This is all very overwhelming.
I can understand your confusion, but you...
Easier said than done.
Oui, monsieur?
Must you be so hard on her?
I presume you refer to...
You talk about emotions not taking charge.
She is a suspect in a murder investigation, not... If Mademoiselle Farquhar is more important than discovering...
I would have thought you would know better of me by now.
When it is your investigation, you... Until then,
And I'll just keep my opinions to myself.
Let us focus on the case.
Mr. Christensen suggested she had romantic feelings towards Irene, but she was just another of her pawns.
She cleaned the master key to hide Mademoiselle Court Smythe's actions. But perhaps she then became worried about her own involvement.
You think she could have killed her to stop the
which would in turn ruin her career.